Greetings and welcome to the Superchat Square Up Edition Volume 11, the Inquisition Edition. I am Dictor Van Doomcock, the future ruler of Earth, and as you know, my friends, we leave no Super Chat behind, and therefore, I am going ahead and squaring up these Super Chats from our last Inquisition this past Sunday. And without much ado, let's go ahead and get to it, shall we? We have a $2 Super Chat from me, not me, but me. The me that is super chatting, not the me that is responding. And me says to me, gibbet cages are a great punishment. Yeah, well, I will bear that in mind. We'll go ahead and order a gibbet cage. I wonder where we can get that. Maybe Amazon? You can get everything on Amazon these days. Plus, I have Prime, so I get free shipping. It's kind of a cool deal. Thank you very much, me. Marcus Jose with a $2 super chat. Hail, Marcus, one of my new subscribers over at subscribestar.com/Doomcock. Well, he's not really new because he was over at patreon.com/Doomcock, but he went ahead and jumped over there. Hail, Marcus, and thank you, my friend. Oh, Legionnaire and pal. He says, "Hail, guys. No one expects the Legion's Inquisition. Amongst our diverse weaponry are such elements as gibbet cages and surprise. Gibbet cages ordered from Amazon. Surprise!" Thank you, Marcus Jose, for the $2 super chat. And by the way, thank you, me, for the $2 super chat as well, just in case I forgot to say that. I'm always grateful for you guys. The support that you give me makes all the difference in the world. It is enabling me to do this full time, and every penny helps. Thank you so much, you guys. Captain Mary Sue, SJW, with a $4.99 super chat. Thank you, Captain Mary Sue, SJW. I'm surprised Captain Mary Sue gives Doomcock the time of day. Doomcock has not been kind to Mary Sue's or SJW's, but perhaps this is an olive branch of some kind. Or perhaps Captain Mary Sue, SJW, is screwing with them. You know, it may be ironic. It may well be ironic. Anyway, Captain Mary Sue, SJW says, which Fantastic Four story arc would be a great series of MCU movies? Namor, Sphinx, Galactus, Super Skrulls, Annihilus, or the original Secret Wars? Well, I think, honestly, that if it had not already been screwed up by Hollywood, then having a proper Galactus story arc would be fantastic. You know? I mean, you start out with the Silver Surfer, then you have, Galactus there, but not a goddamn cloud. Not a cloud, for God's sakes. The cloud thing is horrible. It is always a bad idea to have a cloud be your villain because it always leads to disaster. Look at Green Lantern. It was a cloud. Look at the Fantastic Four movie. Galactus was a galactic cloud. Look at fucking Lost. One of the worst things ever made in the history of the world because it was a complete lie and a con job. Smoke Monster. Yep, I avoid any movies now where the goddamn villain is a cloud. And I advise you all to do the same. So actually now that you say that, I think the Super Skrulls probably. Captain Marvel botched it. Totally botched it. It was complete shit. So you'd have to do a scrapping of Captain Marvel. Oh, what a terrible thing to lose Captain Marvel. Not. Just act like fucking Captain Marvel didn't exist. Have Super Skrulls come to Earth and pose a ultimate threat. Make them evil. Do not make them oppressed minorities, for God's sakes. People of green color. Oh, Christ. I would say the Super Skrulls. That would be my answer, my final answer, Captain Mary Sue, SJW. Thank you so much for the super chat. Elite Spanker, one of my Legionnaires with a $2 super chat. Hail, Elite Spanker. And he says, I enjoy the Doomcock and Gary lifestyle. What are we, Hugh Hefner now? I'm going to have to start wearing a robe, to these things, like a robe and lounging around with a swank martini and, a cigarette holder, even though I don't smoke. But I would just let it burn just for ambiance, just for ambiance, to look cool. Sometimes raise the cigarette holder to my lips, holding it in a German way, like holding it between the thumb and the fingers and backwards, You know what I mean? I think that would be cool, but you can't really. Y'all wouldn't know it anyway, so I think I'll skip it. But I thank you, Elite Spanker. You're one of my Legionnaires, and I am always glad to see my Legionnaires on these live streams. Always makes me feel at home, Makes me feel comfortable. Smells like victory. Thank you, Elite Spanker. I wonder what the Doomcock and Gary lifestyle is. I don't know. I haven't really thought about it. It's interesting, though. I like thinking that I have a lifestyle. I'm just really glad to be alive, frankly. Thank you, Elite Spanker. Sir Ruin of House Roundhead is here with a $10 super chat. Thank you, Sir Ruin. And he says, Doomcock, glad to hear that you support Emilia Clarke. And she is hot, too. Gary also supports Emilia, so Gary should also join us for a drink along with Emilia. We'll let you know if I meet her. Thank you, Sir Ruin of House Roundhead. Yeah. I'm glad that she's not one of these blame the fans kind of persons. I'm glad she's not, to my knowledge anyway, spreading SJW crap. I don't mind if somebody is an SJW if they just keep it to themselves and keep it out of their, out of our entertainment. As long as they're not condemning us for the things that they want. Hell, SJW away, And actually, there's always a difference to me between progressives and SJWs. Progressives get off their ass and actually put their money where their mouth is and work, work for their political beliefs. I respect that. I respect anyone that actually will act on their beliefs as opposed to just tweeting and trying to ruin everyone else's fun and lives online. Sir Ruin of House Roundhead, I hope that you will meet Emilia Clarke one day. And if you do invite me, I promise to be on my very best behavior with Miss Clarke. And Gary, yeah, absolutely. He should come along as well. Thank you, Sir Ruin of House Roundhead. What a great name. Michael Cthuhlu with a $4.99 super chat. One of my new Xanadumirs, if I am not mistaken. Thank you, Michael Cthuhlu, very, very much. And he says, what about element 151? Just yesterday on the Exozone, Michael, I came up with this idea. It's a weird idea. I don't know if it's if it makes much sense. I mean, it's hard to wrap your head around, but I was just theorizing right now. Apparently we can make element 151, but it decays very, very quickly. That's the thing about it. And so, like in nanoseconds. So, we have always assumed that the aliens or transdimensional beings, whoever are piloting the UFO nauts, have figured out a way to stabilize element 151 and make it not decay so quickly. Well, on the other hand, however, what if these aliens in these UFOs are actually masters of time more than technology? In other words, these ships can accelerate to, 30,000 plus miles per hour in the atmosphere. They can go underwater, travel the same way. Maybe what it really is they are not actually moving that fast. It is simply that they are surrounded by an accelerated time field that allows them to perform these amazing maneuvers relatively to us in a different time sphere. So if they had mastery of time, they could be in an accelerated time sphere relative to us, but also they could have within that a decelerated time sphere so that element 151, that nanosecond, is suspended for great, great periods of time. Wouldn't that be interesting? Just a thought, just a little brain fart of Dictor Van Doomcox on the Exozone yesterday. And by the way, guys, Exozone is back. Just letting you know, Exozone is back. We are doing it every week. And I announced yesterday on the Exozone that I had seen a UFO and that I had gotten a couple of pictures of it. So I am very excited that we are going to premiere this story on the Exozone next week on this channel right here on youtube.com/The Harvey Zone, which is the new home of the Exozone on my channels. So thank you, Michael Cthuhlu, for that question about Element 151. Roland is here. Child Roland to the Super Chat Square Up came with a $1.99 Super Chat. Thank you, Roland. And he says, Hail Doomcock, long days and pleasant nights. What a wonderful Super Chat and what a wonderful wish. Thank you so much, Roland. Roland is one of my Xanadumirs and a Legionnaire and a longtime friend of mine, and it's always great to see him. Thank you so much, Roland, for that generous donation and your very generous support over all these many months. Elite Spanker is here again with a $5 Super Chat. Thank you, Elite Spanker. And he says, the phrase jumping the shark was coined, Game of Thrones 8 should be coined to describe a bad show. GOT8 should be the coinage, says Elite Spanker. Yeah. Well, maybe it should replace jumping the shark. Maybe it should be replaced with leaving the cup, Leaving the cup. Here's the coffee cup sitting there. Here's the water bottle sitting there. Leaving the cup, maybe. GOT8 should be coined to describe a bad show. Well, Elite Spanker, that doesn't really fall off the tongue, though. I mean, I hear what you're saying, brother. We need something like... how about this? How about shot the dragon? Speared the dragon or shot the dragon. Yep, they really shot the dragon tonight. I think that's kind of a cool phrase because, when they were frolicking in the sky and that idiot just shot the dragon through the neck with a lucky bolt shot. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I think shot the dragon is a pretty good substitute now for jumping the shark. But I will leave it up to you guys to decide that. Thank you, Elite Spanker. That's a good thought, actually. Marcus Jose with a $5 Super Chat. Hail, Marcus. Thank you, sir. And he says, when you tear out a man's user reviews, you are not proving him a troll. You're only telling the world that you fear what he might say. A quote from somebody. I'm just going to attribute that to you, Marcus Jose. Well said, sir. When you tear out a man's user reviews, you are not proving him a troll. You're only telling the world that you fear what he might say. Well bloody said, Marcus Jose. That is well done. That is it, basically, in a nutshell. We are being silenced by Disney, Rotten Tomatoes, and other media outlets who do not want us speaking up about the shit that they are shoveling into our troughs. They just don't. They don't want to say. I mean, do you think that we would be banned if we were saying great things? The problem is more and more movies these days suck. They suck because of being woke. They suck because of being idiotic. They suck because the people that are working on them achieved their positions without any talent or merit. It's all based on who they know. So all in all, a goddamn disgrace. Thank you, Marcus Jose, for stating what needed to be said. I appreciate that. Good phrasing right there. And if somebody else's quote, God bless them. They were on the money. Me is back. Hail me with a $2 Super Chat. Thank you, me. And he says, they should do the Red Letter Media Picard. Well, I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know what the Red Letter Media Picard is. I'm assuming that they spoke about it at some length. And listen, I'll agree sight unseen because I'd prefer anybody's Picard over Kurtzman's Picard or Goldsman's Picard because they are going to screw that thing to the wall. It is going to be absolutely horrible. absolutely horrible. So Red Letter Media could not possibly do any worse and would probably do a damn sight better. Thank you, my friend, for that super chat. Rambling Canuck with a $2 Canadian super chat. Oh, hail Canada and hail to the Rambling One. And thank you for that super chat. He says, hail to you both and great stream. Thank you, my friend. Yes, the last Inquisition stream was absolutely a blast. We are really hitting it, I think. I mean, I feel it. When Gary and I are just firing on all thrusters, it is just a hell of a great thing, and I had a blast. So I thank you guys for tuning in and making us part of your Sundays now. We will always be there, and we will be kicking ass. Thank you, Rambling Canuck. Sir Ruin of House Roundhead with a $5 super chat. Again, thank you, Sir Ruin. He says, when you get a chance, watch Game of Thrones, written by an AI. It is on College Humor's channel, and it is hilarious. Thank you, Sir Ruin of House Roundhead, for the super chat and for the tip. Okay, guys. So, Game of Thrones, written by an AI. I will go ahead and check this out on the College Humor's channel. College Humor's channel. Thank you, Sir Ruin of House Roundhead. That sounds interesting. I think I'll Google that right now. If I can get out of here real quick. No, this computer is running very, very slow. Yeah, never mind. All right, I will look it up when I get a chance, Sir Ruin of House Roundhead, but thank you for the tip. Pondimus Maximus with a $9.99 super chat. Hail and thank you to my legionnaire, Xanadumir and Dumentite, Pondimus Maximus. And he says, Harvey hasn't told us we'll perish in flames in a long time. It's almost as if he doesn't want to destroy us anymore. What happened, Harvey? What happened to us? Harvey, would you care to respond?
Yes, I actually would. Thank you very much. Thank you, Doomcock. Thank you, Pondimus Maximus. And that is a very good question, to which I will reply, you'll all perish in flames. You think that you're off the hook just because I'm not talking about it right now? Forget it. As soon as I get out of this goddamn little cage that he's put me in, I am going to rampage the way that nobody has ever seen a rampage before. Godzilla fan. Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, an amateur. What I will do to the world shouldn't be done to a dog, but it will be done to all dogs, since they're part of your universe. Yep. I'm going to go ahead and crush stuff. I'm going to be crushing your head. I'm going to be crushing your head, just like on the Kids in the Hall, man. Crushing all your heads, stomping on all your buildings, farting on all of your comic book collections. What? Well, no, I won't do that. I'll actually probably read them. I'll read them and then I'll tear them up because I got destruction to do.
God damn. Even Amazing Fantasy 15?
Especially that. Especially in Action Comics #1. You know, it's like a rich guy in the old movies or cartoons, like lighting his cigar with $100 bill. You know, it's ostentatious, but it's kind of effective.
God, that's a really depressing, Harvey.
Thank you. Back to you, Chet.
Wow. Well, Pondimus Maximus, you reminded Harvey of his mission.
What? You didn't remind me. I knew, dude. It's really pissing me off. What? I gotta, be redundant and just say it all the time? Fuck that.
Very well, Harvey. Very well. Thank you, Harvey Cthulhu. Thank you, Pondimus Maximus. He has not gotten soft. He's just preoccupied. Probably reading old Marvel comics. Joan of Arc 33 is here with a $9.99 super chat and the catchphrase, Loxalordy, my bottom's on fire. Thank you, Joan of Arc 33. And Joan of Arc says, Hollywood is trying to make sure nothing is like we remembered. I just watched this remake of the old Straw Dogs film and they ruined it. Basically rewrote it. SJW politics is death of culture. Joan of Arc 33 with that $9.99 super chat. Thank you very, very much, Joan of Arc. You are quite correct. You could not be more correct, in fact. Yeah, they are remaking movies. They are doing it because they are out of ideas. and because they do not want to take a chance on something new, they feel that if they go ahead and remake something, rip off something from the past that was good, then there will be a certain amount of viewer awareness of it, making their job to sell it and ram it down our throats easier, but then they go ahead and make a piece of shit. Invariably, remakes are pieces of shit. There are very, very, very few instances where the remake is superior. And usually, if it is superior, they've gone in a way different direction than the original did. I would cite Cronenberg's The Fly, with Jeff Goldblum in it, Brundlefly, as opposed to the original Fly, which was a good movie. But listen, that Cronenberg remake is a masterpiece. It just is. It's a great film. SJW politics is the death of culture, and that may be the point. It may be some kind of plot, ultimately, to attack and destroy our culture. I hate to sound paranoid, but I really think that actually may be the case. Very disturbing and very upsetting. Thank you, Joan of Arc 33. Nicholas Horton is here with a £2 super chat. Thank you, Nicholas. And Nicholas says, I had a feeling the Men in Black International would, go, basically, Nicholas Horton. I'm glad. I'm absolutely delighted. Personally, look, I found it offensive. I found it offensive that Tessa Thompson was making a big deal about, it's got to be people in black or persons in black or whatever. It's just, it is based on a goddamn story of ufology, the early days when people who had seen UFOs would receive visits from these weird, flat-affected men dressed all in black. That is part of the mythology, and so playing off of Men in Black from the comics that were adapted from that mythology of ufology, or I don't know if I call it mythology. It's the lore. Let's just call it that, because it may be true. And just shoehorning women in it, a woman of color, just to go ahead and cover all the goddamn bases. It's so calculated. It's so soulless. It's so joyless. Fuck them. I'm glad that they are bombing spectacularly. Thank you very much, Nicholas Horton. Matt Joseph with a $5 super chat. Hail, Matt. Thank you, sir. He says, did Adam Savage ever get the Indiana Jones props that were stolen at San Diego Comic-Con returned? We were talking to him when he was notified by security. Holy shit. Wow. I honestly don't know, man. I've not heard anything about it. I can't speak to it right now. But if you will remind me on the next live stream, you don't have to super chat me again. Just throw it out there and ask Mary Ashby to call it to my attention. I will be happy to look it up online. Right now, I can't really look up stuff on this computer that I'm doing. It's kind of chugging as it is. And I just can't do it, man. I'm so sorry. But Matt Joseph, I will look into that. Thank you, my friend, for the super chat. And that is, oh man, Indiana Jones props stolen. Jesus, that is painful. I wonder if the guy, as he ripped them off and ran away, was humming under his breath. Da, 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 da. Yes, maybe so. Thank you, Matt Joseph. Loquacious Primate with a $5 super chat. Hail, Loquacious One. He says, even though I know it's going to happen, seeing Picard and Starfleet desecrated is still going to be heartbreaking, far more than the STD universe did. Well, for some, yeah. I mean, I love The Next Generation, but I am more of an original series fan. I think the original series is superior. But for many folks, and this is an entirely valid point of view, they prefer The Next Generation. And unfortunately, now it's really their turn to suffer. And it will be a profound suffering because they're actually going to see Patrick Stewart portraying Jake out of luck Picard, and that's so much worse. It would be so much worse if they were putting the actual captain of the Enterprise, Captain James T. Kirk, through this humiliation at the hands of Mikey Spock and Alex Kurtzman and the Kling Orcs and all the silly shit that goes on in that piece of dumpster fire trash. Yeah, it's gonna hurt, guys. There's no doubt about it. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt me too, because I love Jean-Luc Picard. I think he is a legend, and watching him turned into a dancing monkey to the organ of Alex Kurtzman as he grinds away on it, grinding up the Star Trek universe. It's gonna suck. You're right, Loquacious Primate, but my friend, we will stick together. We have each other. You have the entire community of Xanadu at your disposal. We will support you, Loquacious Primate, through these hard coming times. Michael Maloney is here with a $5 super chat. Hail, Michael! And he says, Tex Avery, flashback, Red Hot Riding Hood. Yes. Yes. It was like she was this hot redhead in a nightclub singing this song. It's as easy as falling off a log. Da, 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 da. Yeah, it was a great one. And the wolf in the audience is the comedy. Like, they basically rotoscoped this hot babe singing this number. And they had the wolf in the audience doing all the, like, eyes flying out, heart shooting out of chest, all the comic reactions. Yeah, Tex Avery in his prime. Michael Maloney, you are a man, sir, of knowledge and taste, Michael Maloney. And yes, I remember that. And I hope I'm not wrong about that. But that's the song that I hear in my head as I'm picturing this cartoon. I mean, she's singing just like, kind of like Jessica Rabbit, you know. I find it easy, baby, to fall in love with you. That was a great cartoon. And yeah, I really think that Dynamite dance is very, very evocative of Tex Avery animation. Unfortunately, I was so blown away by the quality of the animation that I didn't notice that they'd taken Elmer's gun away. Ah, God, what a stupid thing to do. Stupid and fucking painful. Breaks my heart. God, can't we just get anything that's great? You know? Well, that's not fair. We've got The Expanse, but you know, you come up with something like that and you obviously put a lot of thought and effort into it, and then you take away his gun. He's a hunter, for fuck's sake. And guns are not illegal and guns are not obscene. Just give Elmer back his fucking gun. Jesus. Thank you, Michael Maloney, for that $5 super chat and for having such great taste. The callback to Tex Avery. Brother, you and I are cut from the same cloth. Thought you'd be bigger, Bear, with a $2 super chat. Thank you, Thought you'd be bigger, Bear. He says, just watch The Crow. It holds up. So well done. Yes. Yes, it's a good movie. It really is. Great soundtrack, too, by the way. What a terrible, terrible film, though, marred by the tragedy of Brandon Lee shooting himself. Well, not shooting himself, he was shot. Basically, what happened, for those of you who don't know, Brandon Lee, who played the Crow, was killed in the production when a stuntman basically fired a gun at him, and it was filled with blanks. But the problem was there was some cotton wadding from one of the blanks that had lodged in the barrel, apparently. And so when this charge went off, I mean, there's no bullet in it, but it propelled that cotton wadding with such force that it killed Brandon Lee. A very haunting and tragic death to a promising talent early in his life. But hell yes, Thought You'd Be Bigger, Bear. It is a great movie. Thank you, my friend, for the super chat. Rakis Wolfstar with a $10 super chat. Hail Rakis! And he says, Hail the Inquisition! Have we discussed gender-bent Alfred for Van Pattinson's Batman? Much love to Doomcock, Gary et al. Thank you for standing on the front lines of the culture wars. Well, Rackus Wolfstar, I despise gender-bent Alfred, just like I despise gender-bent Higgins from the fucking remake of Magnum P.I. on CBS. It just is sick. It's just sick. Alfred is not Alfreda. Alfred Pennyworth is a goddamn gentleman's gentleman, not gentleman's lady. And Van Pattinson's, I love that, Van Pattinson's. That's very good, Rackus Wolfstar. Yeah, dude, look, the guy's, I got nothing against the actor, but he's not Batman. Come on. You need a really manly man to be Batman. And I'm sorry. I know a lot of you guys will disagree with this. I never liked Michael Keaton as Batman. I thought that was terrible. He did the best he could, but he just was not cast correctly. That Batman movie was fucked up. The first Batman movie, everybody loved it and everything. Mainly because of Jack Nicholson. I thought it was a misfire. I thought it was dumb. That it had a huge number of plot holes in it. I thought Michael Keaton was miscast. You need somebody like Christian Bale. You need somebody like John Hamm. You need kind of manly men to play Batman. And having Van Pattinson, what's he going to do? Sparkle in the sun? He sparkles in the sun. Jesus. Yeah. No, that gets a fail from me, guys. That absolutely gets a fail from me. Thank you, my friend, for that super chat. And yeah, damn it. I wish you hadn't reminded me of how fucked up this coming up Batman is going to be. Female Alfred. Jesus Christ. And a Batman that sparkles like diamonds in the sun. I guess that's why he's out at night, right, kids? Thank you, Rackus Wolfstar. We've got Ben Davis is here with a $2 super chat. Thank you, Ben. And he says, for each of you, bump for Harvey. Good night. Thank you, Ben Davis. Harvey?
Make sure I get my wampum.
Yes, Harvey. I don't know what you're going to do with it.
I'm banking it.
For what?
Retirement.
You're going to retire?
Well, I'm going to retire your whole fucking universe. You will all perish in flames.
Oh, dear God. You got him started again. All right. Thank you, Ben Davis, for that bump. Very kind of you, sir. Ronnie Koff with a $4.99 super chat. Hail, Ronnie. He says, I get the sense that Harvey is not so good with the ladies. DC, how would you describe Harvey's love life? Non-existent. Non-existent. I've never seen another of his kind. So he's what's he? I don't know. I don't even know if they have a sex life.
You just worry about your own sex life, pal. I do okay.
What do you mean you do okay?
I say I do okay.
Oh, well, I've never seen you with any of your kind.
What the fuck does that mean? You're kind? You're kind?
Uh-oh. Am I about to be called out for racism, Harvey?
I don't think I'm gonna do that. No. Actually, I am the only kind of, other than Harriet, of course.
Oh yeah, right, Harriet.
Wait, why are you saying like that?
Because I don't believe that there is a Harriet. I think it's you in drag.
Oh, don't be absurd.
I'm not being absurd. I think it's the truth.
It's not the truth.
How come I've never seen you together?
Well, we don't like each other very much.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, Harvey. So you're saying that you are the only one of your kind other than your sister, Harriet.
This is correct.
Then how do you have a love life?
Well, there's other forms of life other than me.
Wow. Are you saying you're a sheep humper?
No comment. Back to you, Chet.
Well, that's more information than I wanted. Thank you, Ronnie Koff, very much for that question in the super chat. Dan Luevano. Dan Luevano with a 50 Mexican peso super chat. Thank you, Dan. He doesn't say anything. He's just put a little tip into the tip jar, and I really appreciate that, Dan. Same with Harwinder Singh. Harwinder Singh with $1 super chat. Thank you, Harwinder. He also has simply put a little tip in the tip jar, and for that, I am very, very grateful. Thank you both for those chips. I got to say, they help keep the lights on around here, and every single bit helps. Thank you. The Feedoc is here, my Legionnaire. The Feedoc with a $10 Australian super chat. Thank you, Feedoc. And the Feedoc says, I put it to you, how can they look any worse than they do now? Fire them and be done with it? Either way, ding dong, the Kurtz is gone. I step in the right direction. Also good to see you online, lads. Thank you, the Feedoc. Well, I got to tell you, this Kurtzman nonsense is going on. I've heard some things about what is happening with this situation, why we are hearing all of these bullshit promotional things out there. Basically, they are a reaction to what Gary and I in Midnight's Edge have put out, and I will be talking about that in the future. I'm still trying to suss out what the hell is going on and what I can tell you guys and what I should kind of keep to myself. There's just a lot of chaos going on, and there is a story behind all of this, and I'm hoping to bring you that story in the near future. But they listen, the longer Kurtzman hangs around, the worse it is. What I have heard is that he is definitely out, but there is some need to keep him up front as the front man, as the face, because the last thing they want to do is publicly admit any failure. So even though there are other people producing the Picard series right now, and he has nothing to do with it, still they're putting him out as a mouthpiece from what I've heard. I mean, this is the rumor, but God knows. Look, it's so goddamn weird. They are definitely trying to discredit any leaks, any reporting, and this is part of it. I mean, this is all part of the strategy. This is basically, disinformation skirmishes. They're actively trying to throw monkey wrenches into the fandom menace. And the simple fact of the matter is, no matter what they do, Star Trek Discovery and the Picard series are going to suck. STD does suck. Picard will suck because they keep going to the same dry, broken well. Kurtzman. And that spells doom. Thank you, the Feedoc. Criminal Imagination with a $10 Canadian super chat. Hail, Criminal Imagination. Thank you, my friend, for the super chat. And he says, just caught wind of old demon schemer Sarkeesian attempting to emotionally blackmail CD Projekt Red just so she can get a job from them. It's over that Cyberpunk 2077 transsexual fake poster BS. Well, my friend, Anita Sarkeesian is, POS. And, I don't really know a whole lot about that scene. I wish I could help you, Criminal Imagination. The Cyberpunk 2077 thing, transsexual fake poster BS. I'm really in the dark on that. So I can't really help you on that. I apologize, sir. I will look into that and watch a couple of vids and see if I can get caught up on it. So next time that you see me, maybe I can actually provide you with some feedback on that. Thank you, Criminal Imagination, for the $10 super chat. Really appreciate that. TK is here with $50. Oh, I already read that one. Well, I'll read it again. TK with a $50 super chat, $49.99 to be precise. Thank you, TK, very much. That's very generous of you. And TK says, Hail Lord Doomcock and Gary. You should really read Honor Harrington's series, solid military sci-fi series. Yes, I definitely put that out there. It's intriguing, and I'm going to look into it, TK. So thank you very much again for this generous super chat. It deserved to be read twice. It really did. Richard Wetfuss with a $2 super chat. And it looks like a avatar of Devil's Mountain. Hail Richard. He says 50 Shades of Boba. Well, that's right. The 47th shade of Boba is how he got the Wookiee scalp. But there's a long story. Let me tell you something. It was not taken. It was given to him. Walk it down, Tito, walk it down. Yeah, baby. Yeah, walk it down, Tito, walk it down. Tito, walk it down. Oh, Popeye. Yes, olive oil was part of that sordid scene. I'm sorry to have to tell you. It's a disturbing image in your mind now. Boba Fett doing things to a Wookiee with olive oil moaning. It's not good. And how did the scalp come off? I'll never tell. Thank you, Richard Wetfuss. Criminal Imagination again with a $5 Canadian super chat. Hail, sir. And thank you again. I'm so sorry I couldn't answer the last one, but maybe I can get this one. Criminal Imagination says male feminists who got caught for being sex offenders hate women who argue with them. Also, it's all of a sudden. Well, yeah, it doesn't surprise me that male feminists who get caught for being sex offenders hate women who argue with them. Well, yeah, there's definitely a strong strain of hypocrisy running through every aspect of the SJW movement. It really is pretty awful, guys. It doesn't surprise me at all. These people have no scruples. They have no actual in concrete standards. It really is just opportunism of the moment and what expression they can send out on Twitter in order to get the most likes. Basically, they just want a lot of acclaim, and that's basically what they're about. Criminal Imagination. Thank you, sir. Yeah. I agree with you 100% on that one. Cleve Bourbon with a $5 super chat. Hail, Cleve. He says, did you guys ever figure out Mrs. Peanut, perhaps some nuts believe? It may be a dad joke, but it's my dad joke. Mrs. Peanut, perhaps some nuts believe. Yeah. Yes. Well, Mr. Peanut's nuts and Mrs. Peanut is familiar with Mr. Peanut's nuts. And how much nuts would a peanut nuts if a peanut could nuts? I don't know. That's something I many of these pop culture issues, Cleve, I have given careful thought to over the course of my fandom. But Mr. Peanut's nuts are not amongst those topics that I have ever examined. So I don't know what to tell you, except that I'm going to thank you for this super chat, sir. And then I'm going to go back to not thinking about Mr. Peanut's nuts. In fact, I dare say that, God willing, I will never again in my life think of Mr. Peanut's nuts. I always wondered when you shook a peanut why you heard the rattling. Also, ouch. Hey-oh.
Yeah, it's funny.
Thank you, Harvey. All Out of Bubblegum is here with a $5 super chat. Hail, All Out of Bubblegum. Good to see you again, my friend. And appreciate the super chat. He says, sorry if this comes over as a woo-woo, but if octopi are aliens, are we guilty of eating Harvey's family?
I find that offensive. I mean, that's like, I don't know, people that used to compare minority groups to certain classes of animal. I think that is very, very offensive.
So you're not related to octopi?
Fuck no. Look, man, I don't know what you think you see when you see me. And, I know that you guys are your brains are, your primitive brains are trying to wrap your head around my eldritch form, which is alien and incomprehensible to you. But I can assure you that the way that you see me is not really the way I look. You're trying to reduce the ineffable and the incomprehensible to a cute little bundle of green fluff, I think, with some tentacles. But listen, man, I got nothing to do with octopi. But octopi are intelligent, and they are, aware creatures. And so when you're eating them, you are basically committing a war crime. You just are. They're very smart. It's like if you ate dolphins too, porpoises. Back to you, Chet.
Well, we've had a lecture from Harvey. Harvey is not related to octopi all out of bubblegum. He just kind of looks that way to a lot of us who are attempting to reconcile his incomprehensible form into a vision that will not drive us insane. Makes sense to me. Thank you, all out of bubblegum. Nola Cardboard with a $5 super chat. Hail Nola Cardboard. Thank you, my friend. And Nola Cardboard says, comicbook.com has an article on Downey Jr. giving his blessing on Ironheart replacing Iron Man in the MCU. Woman of color instead of Iron Man. Well, to which I would reply, then screw Robert Downey Jr. I don't support it at all. I don't support it at all. I just, I want my fucking Iron Man. We've got War Machine. We could go ahead and have War Machine step up into that Iron Man role. But a woman of color stepping into Iron Man, shades of woke. It is just not something that is appropriate to or respectful to the character. Iron Man is not merely a suit. Iron Man is a very specific character. It's Tony Stark. And if we can't have Tony Stark, then we need someone that has been around the whole time to step in and fill in. And I would accept Rhodey as War Machine. Hell, if you needed to have a female Iron Man, have it be Tony Stark's daughter then, grown up. In fact, that's kind of what I heard was going to happen. And cautiously that could work. I mean, at least we saw her, and I thought she was very good in Endgame. So, yeah, if they wanted to do that, I guess I would be open to it. But just bringing in another woke character to fill in another slot, check off another check mark on the list of woke-tude, I find that offensive, and I would not get behind it. Thank you, Nola Cardboard, for annoying me with this piece of news. And damn you, Robert Downey Jr., I wish that these actors and stars trying to virtue signal would stay the fuck out of our fandom and just mind your own business, really. Don't chime in and, don't speak up unless you're sure it's not going to make it worse. Damn it. Thank you, Nola Cardboard. Gerald Armstrong with a $4.99 super chat. Hail, Gerald. Thank you, my friend. He says, the first Blair Witch Project is a perfect example. Excellent marketing. Yeah, excellent marketing and a piece of shit movie. I was really pissed off, Gerald, when I went to see that goddamn thing. I was all hyped up. I was intrigued. I was excited. And it was basically a horror movie about walking through the woods and the terror of sticks and rocks. The terror of sticks and rocks and birds singing, streams, leaves. Fuck that. God, it was boring. It was bullshit. It was crap. I was extremely, extremely disappointed, extremely annoyed, and I will always hate that goddamn movie for pissing me off. And they make it like, oh, this is going to be horror, this is going to be terror, this is going to be really, really exciting. And it was just basically a nature documentary with a little horror tacked on at the end. Bullshit. Thank you, Gerald Armstrong. Mike Brown with a $2 super chat. Thank you, Mike. Says, could do my books as show for 25% the cost of STD. I wouldn't be surprised, Mike. Honestly, 25% the cost of STD. I think they said it came out to like $40 million an episode. So one episode of STD would basically be I'm not great at math, but I think 25% of 40 million is 10 million. And yeah, I'll bet you could, Mike. I bet you could. And it would be vastly, vastly better. Thank you, Mike Brown. North American Hamrammer with a $2 super chat. Thank you, North American Hamrammer. Says, never forget the Lex. Brunanji. Oh. I will never forget the Lex. The Lex was fun. The Lex was cool. The Lex kicked ass, at least until, later on, I didn't like it when they switched the actress. I liked the first actress in the Lex. She was awesome. That is a weird show, guys. That is a super, super cool, weird show. Very European. I know it's Canadian. I kind of generally thought it was from Europe. It was of that same school of The Fifth Element and kind of that metal hurlant feeling, heavy metal magazine. It just had that weird Barbarella-y, sexy, cool, weird sensibility that you can't just get anywhere. It's a very specialized thing, and I really love it. It was a great movie, a great show. I haven't seen it in a long time. I think it's time to rewatch it. Yep, time to rewatch The Lex. Never forget, never surrender. Watch The Lex. Thank you, North American Hammerhammer. Umbre Legios. Umbre Legios with a $5 super chat. My friend, I thank you for that. He says, Firefly Gorum rocks. Gorum is basically a corrupted word for goddamn in Chinese. So when they say it on the show, that's what they mean. You, sir, are a man of discriminating taste, Umbre Legios. I love Firefly. I miss Firefly. I wish they would bring it back, but I guess now it's too late. Maybe, you know what I would really like? If they would do an animated adventure, like animated features of Firefly. Now, that would be cool. You could still get the same voices, the same characters. I mean, Mal is kind of, puffed up, sadly, over the years. So, I don't think we could mount a live action version anymore. I guess we could. I don't know. He might actually lose weight for that, but I guess time will tell. Umbre Legios, thank you very much for that super chat. And you're Goram right. Firefly Goram rocks. Quite correct. Ray Young 74 with a £2 super chat. Thank you, Ray Young 74, who says, Boba Joe and the Outlaw Cowboy Boba Bop. Oh, man. Yeah. Ray Young 74, thank you for that super chat and for more contributions to the Boba Fund. This last Inquisition, things went crazy. Everybody started using Boba or Fett and placing those two syllables into different song titles, movie titles, TV show titles. It was a lot of fun, and hence Boba Joe and the Outlaw, Cowboy Boba Bop. Thank you, Ray Young 74. TLJ Russian Bot with a $4.99 super chat. Hail TLJ Russian Bot. Thank you, sir. He says, I enjoy the banter you two lay down. Keep it up. Thank you, TLJ Russian Bot. We are going to keep it up. We're actually expanding it, man, because we are not only now doing the Inquisition every Sunday night at 8 o'clock Central Time, but we are also expanding to do the Exozone once a week, also alternating between both of our channels. So you like Doomcock and Gary, more is on the way. Thank you, TLJ Russian Bot. Soren Christensen with a 20 Danish krona super chat, I believe it is, kronas. Thank you, Soren. He says, I am in the 501st and see lots of love for Star Wars still. Well, good. I love Star Wars. I have no problem with Star Wars. I'm a big fan of Star Wars. It's this shit that Disney's making that is not Star Wars that I have a problem with. And the longer they keep making that shit and confusing the issue of Star Wars with fans, the quicker that shit is going to go down the toilet. They are killing the franchise just like CBS is killing Star Trek, and even worse, because I think, honestly, I don't think there's any way back for Star Wars. I think Star Wars is toast. I think it's history. I think it's history, and I am not optimistic. I am not optimistic at all. Thank you, Demonic. Thank you, Soren Christensen, for that super chat. And it's good to know that the 501st is still holding Star Wars near and dear to its heart. Demonic Bioman is here with a $5 super chat. Hail, Demonic Bioman. And thank you, sir, for the super chat. And he says, use your incredible pipes. Happy days are here again. CBS wised up and took Kurtzman's head. Pray that STD is really dead. Happy days are here again. Thank you, Demonic Bioman. Listen, the whole Kurtzman thing, like I said earlier, is in flux. But there's a lot going on, guys. I will talk about that in the future. Gary and I are conversing about it even as we speak. I just saw a tweet from him as I was speaking. And there's a whole bunch of shenanigans going on. I'll just leave it at that. Automata with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Automata. Says, ever see that Garbage Day movie clip? The Batwoman trailer struck me as having the subtlety of those expressive cues from the actors. I have not. I have not seen the Garbage Day movie clip. So I don't know what you're talking about, except I have seen the Batwoman trailer, and I don't know. It didn't really strike me at all as subtle. Struck me as a real pain in the ass and a horrible piece of SJW propaganda that is going to go down in flames. And I'm going to help light the match. As soon as that goddamn Batwoman thing comes on the air, I am going to go ahead and be setting fire to every damn episode. My rhetoric shall burn it clear off the air by the time it's done, along with Gary and everyone else that is going to be getting out the long, sharp knives for this piece of garbage. That Batwoman trailer, my God, it is, it could not be more seeped in bullshit propaganda, virtue signaling garbage. If fucking, I don't know. There's just no way. I can't think of a single, even if Paul Feig directed the cast of Ghostbusters 2016 in that show, it still couldn't suck as bad as what's coming. That's my opinion. Thank you, my friend Automata. Michael Maloney with a $10 super chat. Hail, Michael. He says, the only way to save Star Wars is to make a clean break and switch to the Old Republic era. I agree, with the caveat that we switch to the Old Republic era without Benioff and Weiss and Ruin Johnson to direct it. Oh, my God. That is what is looking like what's coming down. It's going to be Benioff and Weiss writing and Ruin Johnson directing, in which case kiss the Old Republic era goodbye before it even leaves the production studio. Before it even hits the editor's bay, that thing is doomed, because we've seen how Benioff and Weiss handle things without George R.R. Martin backstopping them. And I don't think George R.R. Martin has a damn thing to do with Star Wars. So you do the math on that one, Michael. You do the math. It is not going to look pretty. Thank you, my friend, for that $10 super chat. And I, sir, agree with you. Star Wars needs a clean slate. They need to clean house. They need to get rid of Kennedy and her cronies and the Lucasfilm Story Group and all of those usual suspects who have contributed to make Star Wars a piece of SJW propaganda that has nothing whatsoever anymore to do with George Lucas's galaxy far, far away. Thank you, Michael, very much. Hero Chick Sarmiento. Hail, Hero Chick Sarmiento with a $10 super chat. Hero Chick, hail to thee. He says, Ayo! Happy Father's Day, Gary and Doomcock. That comic book shop. Can't wait. When will Hollywood stop with the feminist movement and entertainment? I loved the Twilight Zone ride. Yeah, the Twilight Zone ride apparently has gone away or is going away. For those of you who weren't at the Inquisition on our Father's Day edition, indeed, Gary is looking to start a new comic book shop. but he has some very interesting ideas about what this place is going to be. It's almost going to be like a pop-up thing, like a hub for geeks, like a geek refuge camp, essentially, where all sorts of interesting things will be going on, and it just sounds like heaven. Sounds like heaven, and I hope that it will be a great success, and I hope that I will get to see it in person one day. I think that would be a lot of fun. Thank you, Hero Chick Sarmiento. I agree with you that, I'm excited about the comic book shop, sad about the Twilight Zone ride. And as for when Hollywood will stop with the feminist movement and entertainment, probably when they stop feeling guilty and pressured by Pound Me Too. Because Pound Me Too has basically pounded Hollywood into submission. They are suffering right now, and deservedly so. But they ought to just own up to what they've done and the injustices that they've wrought, and stop inflicting it on the audience with shitty entertainment and propaganda that is woke and trying to shove their goddamn virtue signaling down our goddamn throats. It's like they did the sin and we're having to do the penance, and I hate that. Thank you, Hero Chick. Death Adder with a $4.99 super chat. Hail Death Adder, who says, will either of you get back to reviewing Farscape or even starting up Lex? It would be nice to hear you two talk about some great sci-fi for a change. Death Adder, that's a good point. I really do need to finish Farscape Season 1. Like Gary, I missed it the first time around. Also, God, I would really, like I was saying earlier, I would really like to watch the Lex again. So I don't know. I guess I could talk to Gary and see if he'd be willing to watch some Lex with me. And we could talk about the Lex. That could be kind of cool. I don't know how many people would have an interest in that. Maybe I'll go ahead and do a poll on my next live stream tonight, actually, coming up, and see what people think. Death Adder, good idea. I need to get on that, and that would be a good motivation for me too. I'm just so overwhelmed by things to watch. I get completely, I don't have a lot of time to watch things because I'm so busy making things for my Patreon, for my Subscribe Star, and for YouTube that I really have very, very little leisure time. It's very frustrating to me, actually. Thank you, Death Adder, very much for that super chat. Chris Stanley with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Chris. He says, thanks, Overlord DVD and Nerdrotic. You guys are a great team. Thanks for the live stream. Chris, you are very welcome, my friend. Thank you, sir, for being here in this live stream because, we couldn't do it without you. A live stream without you guys would be a sad and sorry thing indeed. And I want to thank everyone who listens to my live streams and Nerdrotic's live streams. I'd like to thank everyone who listens to the Super Chat Square Ups and gives Super Chats, chats in the regular chat, watches the commercials, spreads the word about my channel and me and Harvey. You guys are the best, and you guys are what are making the difference. I really view you guys as the stars of these live streams, and I'm just forever grateful for your wit, your charm, and your support. You guys are the best. Thank you, Chris Stanley. Bjorn with 20 Swedish krona. Thank you, Bjorn, very much for being here, for the donation. He says, hail Doomcock, hail Gary, what was the boba thing? Bjorn, the boba thing was just a spontaneous eruption of ebullience and rapture. I even forget how it started, but I think we were talking about different Boba Fett projects, and it just took on a life of its own, and people started popping in Boba into all sorts of song titles and movie titles and TV show titles, and it was just, it was a weird and cool pop-up phenomenon, like birds that are making weird patterns in the air as they wheel and turn in the sky. I love seeing that. I have a feeling that when they do that, they're making the universe, but what do I know? It's just one of those things, it just kind of caught on. I love spontaneous things like that. You never know what will happen in a Doomcock live stream or on the Inquisition. Thank you, Bjorn. The Big Red Bear with a $2 Canadian super chat. Hail, Big Red One. He says, STDs need antibiotics. Explosives don't work. Yeah, well, I think of myself humbly, the Big Red Bear, humbly. I think of myself as an antibiotic against STD. You know, I think of Doomcock is causing STD a lot of pain, and rightfully so, as I fight off the infection to the Star Trek franchise, you know? So think of Doomcock as the equivalent of outraged penicillin. Doomcock equals outraged penicillin. I love it. Thank you, the Big Red Bear, for that super chat. Tracy Wilborn with a $2 super chat. Hail Tracy says, just cuz. Enough said. Thank you, Tracy, very much for the $2 super chat and the just cause. Enough said. You are awesome, Tracy. Thank you so much. Howdy do it. Howdy do it with a $2 super chat. Thank you, Howdy. Says the news is Brie Larson is going to play Savik. No, Brie Larson is not going to play Savik. That would be bad. God, can you imagine? Can you imagine a scowling, bitchy Savik? God, that would be terrible. Ooh, I shudder. I shudder to think, Howdy. I shudder to think. You should actually be on the Inquisition. You should be our Cardinal Fang, because you come up with ideas like that are so cruel, so disturbing, so painful. I would love to see it inflicted on others. Others who are guilty. Others who deserve to suffer. Howdy. But what have I ever done to you? I don't want to hear that. That's terrible. Thank you. Howdy do it. Mayor McCheese is here with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Mayor McCheese. It says, have either of you heard of Geetus and the Land of Ta? It's a mystery on Reddit about a toy/TV show that almost no one can get information on. I never have. I've not heard of that. I don't know anything about it. But, yeah, I will go ahead and take a note of this. Geetus and the Land of Ta. I have never heard of this, but I will check it out. Maybe I'll see if I can get any information on it, although I suspect that I am in for a world of disappointment. Thank you, Mayor McCheese, for setting me on a mystery that I cannot solve. More frustration in my life. Just exactly what I need. Just kidding, Mayor McCheese. Thank you very much for the super chat. That is weird, dude. I will check it out. Maybe it doesn't exist. Have you thought of that? Or is it real? Oh, now I'm intrigued. I'll check it out, Mayor McCheese. Dr. Venkman with a $5 super chat. Hail Dr. Venkman, who says we need a Doomcock shirt with Doomcock wearing the nerdrotic glasses. Well, yeah, that I don't know. That might, Gary's high-priced, lawyers and business affairs. I mean, Nerdrotic has a business empire at this point. So probably come after me. And then I'd have to hire some of Harvey and Harriet's legal assistants to defend it. But I'll ask Gary about it. But that would be pretty funny, actually. That'd be pretty funny. Now, Dr. Venkman, maybe a fan could just put that together. Maybe a fan could just put that together and just put it out on the internet. I don't think we would put it on any shirts or merchandise or anything, but I think that would be fun. Why don't we throw that out to the fans? Do y'all want to put out a picture of Doomcock wearing the nerdrotic glasses? Let's see what you can do. Thank you, Dr. Venkman. J.E. with a $2 super chat. Hail, J.E., and thank you. He says, J.E. with a $2 super chat. He says nothing. A man of few words. Are you? A man with no name. Well, you've got a name, J.E. Maybe a man with no words. Thank you, J.E., very, very much. Thunder Robots with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Thunder Robots. He says, if the Picard series says that the Federation was invaded by the worms from the first season of TNG, then the Section 31 setup could work. Yeah. Well, I don't think so. I don't think that's where they're going. I don't think they know about the worms. I don't think they've ever seen Star Trek The Next Generation. I don't think they give a damn about The Next Generation. I don't think they care about satisfying fans. I think that they think that we're assholes that will just swallow any garbage that they throw out just because Patrick Stewart is in it. And I can tell you what, the opposite is true. When you put Patrick Stewart in something, it goddamn well better be The Next Generation or I'm going to destroy it. Expect destruction towards the end of the year when they release this garbage. Thank you, Thunder Robots. Yeah, you're right, dude. You're right. I mean, if they did that, that would be awesome. I just don't think they are. I don't think they are. I don't think they're going to do that at all. But as usual, guys in my chat, Thunder Robots here, has a much better idea than any of these assholes have come up with yet. Thank you, Thunder Robots. I applaud your creativity. Bruce Lombardo with a $1.99 super chat. Hail Bruce, giver of fine coffee. And Bruce Lombardo says, read Philip Jose Farmer, Daybreaker, good sirs. Daybreaker. I remember I've read a little bit of his stuff, but I am not super familiar with his work. But I'm writing it down now. Daybreaker, Jose Farmer. Thank you, Bruce Lombardo, a true fan of the channel, Xanadumir and Dumentite. Sir, it is a privilege to know you. Spock128 with a $2.99 super chat. Thank you, Spock128, who simply says, tip jar, thanks for the chat. Thank you, Spock128, for that $2.99 super chat. Thank you all for all of the super chats. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for spreading the word. Thank you, all of you, for being my friends. From the center of the earth, this has been Super Chat Square Up, Volume 11. I want to thank everyone who supports us, and I want to bid you all, my friends, until the next Super Chat Square Up, and until the next live stream, which is actually tonight at 6:30. Stay angry, folks. Stay angry.